Wisconsin's April 5 primary is the first test of the state's voter ID law. Critics view the new ID requirements to cast a ballot as too restrictive and say it will turn voters away, while supporters say it's needed to prevent election fraud. Kane Faribaugh has more from Wisconsin.
On a rain-soaked weekday morning in Wisconsin's capital, Madison, Molly McGrath is on a mission.
I grew up in central Wisconsin.
She's the national campaign coordinator for Vote Riders, a nonprofit organization committed to ensuring people can vote. And on this morning, she's giving Tammy Dodson a ride.
Hi, Tammy.
Hello.
Are you ready?
Their destination is the Department of Motor Vehicles, or DMV, where Dodson needs to apply for an ID card. But not so she can drive.
Someone called me on the phone and told me I needed a voter's ID to vote.
Wisconsin's April 5th primary is the first election in the state in which voters will have to provide certain forms of identification to vote. Considered one of the strictest voter ID laws in the country, it's already in force at early polling locations in the state.
I view it as a step backwards because people are being disenfranchised by the law. We're making more restrictive voting rights. We're not enhancing them.
Tammy Dodson says she believes the law could drive potential voters away.
Yeah, if they got to go through a house, they'll be like, forget it. I'll do it another time and it'll never happen.
The U.S. Supreme Court refused to hear a challenge to Wisconsin's voter ID law in 2015. Now, with early voting underway and the primary election on the horizon,
At least it stopped raining. It's an omen.
this organization is busy trying to remove obstacles for voters who need to get IDs. In addition to providing rides, they are also trying to spread the word about the requirements.
But when you look at the numbers of 300,000 Wisconsin registered voters who do not have an ID to vote, when you look at the Marquette poll of 16% of Wisconsiners do not know they need a photo ID to vote or don't think they need one. So there's a lot of misinformation and there's a lot of people impacted by the law.
It's not an issue that I find powerfully compelling.
John Sharpless is a professor of history at the University of Wisconsin-Madison and a former Republican congressional candidate. He says concerns about widespread voter fraud, which helped bring about the law, are unfounded, as are concerns about voter disenfranchisement.
The notion that some little old lady who has been voting since Reconstruction will not be able to vote, I think, is an exaggeration. Now, there is the transition moment, and I think it's going to be difficult.
Dodson says thanks to organizations like Vote Riders working in the state ahead of the election, there's every reason to cast a ballot.
You can get a ride to the DMV. You can get on the bus for free, cab for free. Yep. So there's no excuse why you didn't come and vote.
A vote Dodson is now prepared to make with her new valid identification.